Hello everyone, welcome back to another What's for Dinner video, or welcome if you are new. My name is Veronica, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some meals that we've had this past week, so hopefully it can give your family some meal inspiration. I also fixed my mamaw's old-fashioned velvety chocolate cake, so I will be sharing that recipe as well. Let's get to cooking! This night for dinner, I fixed a Mississippi pot roast. The first thing that I did was line my crock pot with a crock pot liner for easy cleanup. And then I added my chuck roast to my crock pot. And then I sprinkled 1 packet of ranch dressing mix over top of my chuck roast. And then I sprinkled 1 packet of au jus gravy mix over top of that. This was my first time making the Mississippi pot roast, and I am so glad that I did. It's super easy to make, and it only takes a few ingredients, and it's cooked in the crock pot, so that makes it even better. But honestly, this is the best pot roast that I have ever ate in my life. It is delicious. After I added my au jus gravy mix, I then added some pepperoncini peppers. I added 4. You can add 4 to 5, just whatever your family likes. I don't like spicy food, so I was really afraid that the pepperoncini peppers would make the pot roast spicy, but it didn't. It was not spicy at all. It gave it the perfect flavor. And then I added a 1/4 cup of butter that I had sliced up over top of that. And then I placed my lid on my crock pot and I cooked it on low for 8 hours. I also laid out some Rhodes yeast dinner rolls to have as a side, and I started boiling some potatoes so I could make mashed potatoes. I also fixed some brown sugar glazed carrots to have as a side. I just added some butter to my pot, and then I added in 2 cans of Great Value sliced carrots to that, and then about 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then I added just a little bit of honey to that, and I stirred all of that together, and I let that cook until it came to a low simmer. And then I let it cook for a few more minutes until some of that liquid had evaporated out. These are super easy to make, and they are delicious to have as a side. Our meal is now done. We have brown sugar glazed carrots, mashed potatoes, Rhodes yeast dinner rolls, and our Mississippi pot roast. Everything turned out great. It was delicious. And here's my plate, and like I said, everything turned out delicious, and I cannot wait to make this Mississippi pot roast again. This night for dinner, I fixed one of our family favorites. I fixed some goulash. The way that I make my goulash is super simple, and it's so delicious. The first thing that I do is add 1 pound of lean ground beef to my Dutch oven, and I just chop that meat up. And then I add in 1 sweet onion that I had already diced up to that. I then add about 1/2 tablespoon of minced garlic to that, and I just mix that together. And I let that cook until my ground beef is no longer pink. When my ground beef is finished cooking, I then add a 28-ounce can of Italian-style diced tomatoes to that. and a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. I then just mix all of those ingredients together. I then add in 1 cup of cooked elbow pasta to those ingredients. And then I add in just a dash of Worcestershire sauce, or AKA the W sauce, because that word is super hard to say. And then I add in just a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little less than a half a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And I just mix all of those ingredients together until everything is well incorporated. And then I place my lid back on my Dutch oven and I just let that cook for a few minutes until everything is heated through. And that's it, it's ready to serve. I also fixed some great value garlic toast and some great value Texas cheese toast to go with our meal as well. And here's my plate, and I like to sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on top of my goulash. This night for dinner, I fixed a super easy, fast meal. I fixed some Tyson honey battered chicken tenders, some macaroni and cheese, and some Sister Schubert dinner yeast rolls. This is a great meal for a busy day, and I just fixed each one according to the package directions. Super simple and fast. And here is my plate. I like to always keep these types of meals on hand just in case we've had a super busy day, or I just don't feel like cooking a whole lot, because I'm human and sometimes that happens. This night it was my mom's birthday, and she asked me if I could fix some Mexican pizza for her birthday dinner, and of course I said yes, because the Mexican pizza is easy and it's absolutely delicious. The first thing that I did was brown 2 pounds of ground beef, and then I just added my taco seasoning and water to that, and I cooked that according to the package directions on the taco seasoning. If you have a smaller family, you can use 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pack of taco seasoning, but I am cooking for 6 people, so I had to use a little bit more. Once my taco meat was finished cooking, I then added in 1 cup of vegetable oil in a large clean skillet, and I let that heat up over medium heat. And once your vegetable oil is heated up, then you want to add in your flour tortillas. You want to make sure they are taco size. I am using the Carb Balance flour tortillas, and then you just add it to the vegetable oil and you continuously flip them for about 3 to 4 minutes until they are crisp. You want to flip them frequently, and that way they don't burn. You want to cook your flour tortillas one at a time, and so whenever your flour tortilla is finished cooking, you can remove that from your vegetable oil, and then I line a plate with some paper towels, and that way some of that grease can drain off into the paper towel, and you just repeat that process for every flour tortilla. And then the Mexican pizzas are ready to build. You want to place 1 flour tortilla on the bottom of each Mexican pizza, and then top the flour tortilla with some refried beans and spread the refried beans over top of each tortilla. To make the refried beans spread easy, you want to microwave the refried beans beforehand. You don't have to, but it just makes them spread a whole lot easier if they are heated up. And then I add a layer of the taco meat, and I just spread the taco meat over top of the refried beans. I then place another tortilla on top of the taco meat, and I slather about 2 tablespoons of red enchilada sauce on top of that. If you like Taco Bell's Mexican pizza, then you will absolutely love these Mexican pizzas because they are even better than Taco Bell's, and they are made from home, made with love, and they're easy. And then I top my Mexican pizza with some Mexican cheese, or if you are like me and using Great Value cheese, you can use the Fiesta blend cheese, and you can add as much cheese as you like. And then I place them in the oven at 400 degrees, and I cook them between 8 and 10 minutes just until the cheese is melted. And whenever they come out of the oven, you can top them with whatever toppings you like. I topped mine with some green onion, tomato, and some black olives. And here is my Mexican pizza. For my mom's birthday cake, I made my mamaw's old-fashioned velvety chocolate cake. The first thing that I do is add a half a cup of buttermilk to a measuring cup, and then I add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda to that, and then I take a whisk and whisk those ingredients together, and then I just set that to the side. And then in a large bowl, I sift 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then I add in 2 cups of sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I just whisk all of those dry ingredients together. And then I move over to my stove, and in a saucepan I add in 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of water, and 4 teaspoons of cocoa. And then I whisk all of those ingredients together, and I let that heat up until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I then remove that from the heat, and I immediately pour that over top of all of my dry ingredients, and I just mix all of that together. Once I have all of those ingredients mixed up, I just let that mixture cool off, and then I add in 2 eggs, and then I add in my buttermilk mixture. And then I mix all of those ingredients together until everything is well combined. And then I spray 2 8-inch round cake pans with some Baker's Joy. If you want to make a single layer cake, you can spray a 13 by 9 baking dish with some Baker's Joy. I then add my cake batter to my cake pans. I use a measuring cup to add my cake batter because I want my cakes to be even. And if you use a measuring cup, your cakes are going to come out the same size each time. Once I have all of my cake batter added to my cake pans, I then just drop my cake pans on top of a countertop, and that way I won't have any air bubbles in my cake. I then use the Wilton cake strips and I place them around my cake pan, and that way my cakes will bake evenly. I love the Wilton cake strips. You just wet them in cold water and make sure they are tight around your cake pans. And like I said, it just helps them bake even. And then you place them in the oven at 350 degrees and you bake them for 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. I then let my cakes cool for about 10 minutes in the pan, and then I remove each layer from the pan. I just keep them separate for now. And then I let them cool completely. Once my cakes are cooled completely, I then start on my velvety chocolate frosting. In a saucepan, I heat up 1 stick of butter, 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk, and 4 teaspoons of cocoa. Once I get all of those ingredients added to my saucepan, I just whisk all of those ingredients together, and I continue whisking until everything heats up and comes to a boil. Once those ingredients come to a boil, I then remove that from the heat and I immediately pour that over 16 ounces of sifted powdered sugar. And then I mix all of those ingredients together until everything is well combined. And then on my bottom cake layer, I add some icing to that and I spread that on there. You want your cake frosting to be warm. You don't want it to be too hot, because if it is too hot, then it will just melt off the sides. And then I add my top layer of cake to that, and then I put icing on top of that layer and around the sides. Like I said previously, you can make this into a 1-layer cake using a 13 by 9 inch baking dish. And if you are making a 1-layer cake, you can just add all of this icing on top of your cake and spread it on there evenly. This cake recipe means a lot to my family. It has a lot of special meaning behind it. Like I said before, this was my mamaw's recipe, and whenever she passed away, she passed down all of her recipes to me, and this was one of them. She has made this cake for a very long time. She also made it for my mom and my mom's siblings whenever they were growing up. So it's a very old-fashioned and delicious cake. And now the cake is ready to be served. And here's my slice of cake. It's like having a little slice of heaven. That's it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.